how's it going? Today we're going to be talking about a new concealer that just came out, and that is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Concealer, it is not a foundation. So I got this in the mail a couple of days ago and I was super curious about it because I have tried the Born This Way foundation and I really didn't particularly like it, and the main reason for that was the shade range. The shade range was very yellow. The lightest color didn't work on me. It was too dark and it was too yellow. I know that since then they've come out with new colors. I don't have it, so I can't comment to say if it fits more, but I was excited to see with this collection if the shade range was different. I love a good concealer, a nice one. I mean, for me, preference-wise, I like with my foundation and all of my skin products, I really like lightweight feel. I don't want to feel like I have to set my foundation. I mean, I live in the desert, so I want stuff that has nice coverage but doesn't feel heavy. So I was excited to see if this kind of fit in that category. For this, I'm going to kind of be comparing this to the Naked Skin just because they're in kind of the same packaging and they have kind of the same feel. So for Naked Skin, what I use is light neutral, and this is in Very Fair. It definitely is a little bit lighter. This is Naked Skin, but it also is more, this shade at least seems to be a little bit more on the pinkish end. This is light neutral. I like using neutral shades if I can find them. If I can't, then I go to the yellow based, but my skin is kind of right in the middle. And you can see the difference between Very Fair and Fair. This is light neutral from Naked Skin. This is Fair, and this is Very Fair. And I'll do some swatches too. And then for good measure, I'm also going to, this is a little bit out of order, but forgive me. So this is Light from Too Faced. This is Light Neutral from Urban Decay. This is Fair, and this is Very Fair. So you can see these two have a little bit of a pinkish undertone to them. Light does have a yellow undertone. Neutral, Light Neutral from Urban Decay, this one right here you can definitely see is definitely more on the neutral side, but that's just kind of to see how the ranges go. The Too Faced colors are not separated by color tone, so they're not like yellow undertone, pink undertone. The Urban Decay ones are though, so that is a difference. The lighter shades definitely are a little bit more pink. The way that they feel though does remind me of the Urban Decay concealer. Just feeling them right here, the Urban Decay concealer does feel definitely a little bit thinner, so the Too Faced one is a bit thicker. As far as packaging goes on these, you know, it's a straight tube. I kind of prefer, I love this kind of packaging just because it has the applicator, so it's nice to travel with. It is nice to have, at least I think so, to have a concealer in your bag with you, because sometimes, you know, you have that annoying breakout that just wants to keep showing through, or your under eyes get a little tired, that kind of thing. So sometimes it's just nice to have one in your bag. So I do like the packaging. It has a doe foot applicator. It's different from the Urban Decay one. The Urban Decay one is much longer. Let me get it out to show you. So here's the difference. This is the Too Faced one. This is the Urban Decay one. But the thing that is worth noting is they both are very flexible. Even this one that's the doe foot applicator, I was surprised that it kind of has a lot of wiggle room. It's a lot more wiggly than, say, a lip gloss that would have the same applicator, but not quite as bendy as the longer one from Urban Decay. Some of you might be wondering why, you know, I bring this up. I personally kind of like having the more flexible wand, just because for me, the main place that I'm applying concealer like this is underneath my eyes. Sometimes with breakouts you want to have a thicker concealer just because it's going to cover more and not really move. But under your eyes, I personally don't like to put anything heavy there just because it makes it more prone to creasing. So I do like having kind of a flexible wand in that area because then it just kind of glides on a little bit easier and it isn't stiff. So what I've been using lately, what I did today is I've been using Very Fair because, you know, I'm already quite pale, so to find a concealer that's lighter, I kind of like using it underneath the eyes because then it sort of brings brightness there. It lightens the area just a little bit so that under eye circles and stuff kind of go away, and it just brings like a very subtle highlight. So that's kind of what I like to do. I have to tell you guys, I do like this concealer. I'm pretty impressed with it. I have been wearing it for the past week or so and I haven't noticed any creasing. It feels super lightweight on the skin. and it blends out really nicely. I think that the formula is really nice. I like that it's a little bit thicker than the Urban Decay one just because it's still not super thick. It's not like a cream concealer, which is really thick. It's still got really nice blendability. It feels lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy on the skin at all. Once it's on, it feels like it's set. I mean, I didn't set mine today and I think it's holding up pretty well. I'm gonna say it's a little bit buildable. Today when I used it earlier, I applied it, just kind of lines down the sides and then just blended it out with my beauty blender. I also used it today around my brows. I just kind of dotted it on and then I blended it out with a concealer brush. It isn't like cream concealer, so it's going to move really easily. So if you do use this to, you know, contour or to add highlight and stuff, just make sure you know that it's going to move quite easily because it is so thin. Key things coming out of this, it is a thin concealer, so make sure a little goes a long way. I personally think it works best underneath the eyes just because it is thin and it sets nicely, so it's gonna feel lightweight underneath your eyes and it's not gonna crease. And I think it has pretty good coverage. I would say like medium coverage. I mean, I used it today. I have a zit right here that's kind of pissing me off. It covered it nicely, but if you do need a higher coverage concealer, you have more stuff to conceal, I would consider getting something that is a little bit more heavy, a little bit more coverage so that it stays put. Definitely recommend checking it out in person. With foundation and concealer, if you have the opportunity, definitely check those out in person in general, but this one, just the shade range is a little bit, the names and just the shades are a little weird, very yellow toned. There are some cool toned colors, but for the most part it's very yellow toned, which is the same problem that I saw with the Born This Way foundation when it first came out. Keep that in mind, so if you could check it out in store, please recommend that you do. And that's about it. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you're gonna check this foundation, or gosh, why do I keep calling it foundation? Concealer out, and I'll see you later.